been?
Twitch.tv / avenge dog gaga. Gaga.
This is going to be a train wreck, and I can't wait.
I love train wrecks.
Yeah, how have you been?
I've been great.
Nice.
Been living the high life.
Living in the underground world.
Yeah, living in the underground world, in with the mole people
Like you do.
and the grim juniors. And
Did you finish it, or did you get past the?
I have not, but I am right at the part where Grim Jr. is fighting Mini Mandy, and he becomes a little girl now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because of course.
I don't know what's
You're near
happening.
the end.
It's great.
It's fantastic, really.
I have all I need then.
For the purposes of this, essentially.
Yeah, I have everything that's important.
He has actually updated since the last time I read.
Whoa!
He updated PPG. I don't know if he updated Grim Tales. I don't know if it's
He
worth.
added the new page where Ivana the Yukon shows up. And
Imagine.
he's in Dexter's lab.
I don't. Actually, he's updated kind of regularly since last time I read it. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I know. I've since I've been checking the dates on the pages, and he's actually been doing it a lot.
It really is all he's got, though.
Yeah. Listen, he can. The Philippines have a very prolific manga community that he's a part of, and
Apparently.
went to Pinoy Comiket, and he sold all his dojins.
It's like those people who draw like all those fucking like Star versus dojins or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Except at least those are just like one-offs. They're like their whole like giant mythos.
Listen, it's better if it's a big mythos, because then you get the reader invested, and
You're right.
it's got a longevity to it.
Yeah, this is true.
It's not just the Ona show or whatever they call it.
It's not total garbage.
It's not total garbage island.
Just some garbage. Garbage Island. my new comic, Trash Planet.
I need comic Trash Planet starring the emoji furries.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Give me one moment. I'm going to put my phone on the charger.
Okay.
Gotta wait for the bleed heads to show up. All the bleeders out there.
Yeah, the bleed heads, the bleed maniacs.
The bleed maniacs. If you're in the chat, how are you guys doing?
all the no users that are here.
There's 6 people here.
Yeah, but there's nobody I think logged in.
Yeah, just give it a minute.
Nobody listed as users in the chat.
Nobody exists.
Yeah. We could just some people are here.
They're trickling
Fine.
in. Every time I do a stream, it always takes like it'll get up to like 20, like 15 to 20 people, but it always takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure so many people will come because they're interested in hearing about
naturally,
comics.
naturally, they're all storming in like, oh my god, finally! It's like that Mortal Kombat commercial where they're all running in the streets
Yeah.
to go hear about
That's it.
Bleedman comics.
We gotta watch this because Pan Pizza hasn't made an analysis on it.
You think he will?
Probably.
Yeah.
He'll be like, the ultimate cartoon crossover comic that you've never read.
Be well regarded, well remembered, classic
Yeah.
for all generations.
And it'll be on the front page of YouTube as top trending video.
And then like when that happens 3 months from now, you'll be like, dude, and they'll be like, god damn it. All right, so I guess we'll just start. I fucking
Okay.
Bleed Man. All right, so this is Bleed Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a funny little Filipino man.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I honestly don't know much about Bleed Man because as I was reading these comics and like looking into stuff, I intentionally did not look up anything about him because I wanted to just not know. Because I get the Mr. Bleedington Man. Hey, Ian. I get the feeling that anything I would learn would make me disgusted. So all I know about him is that he really likes cartoons and action figures and comic books.
Little girls.
And little girls. He makes that very clear. And that's not a thing
Uh-huh.
that's not a thing we're just intuiting, like before somebody sues us or something. That's something he makes very clear on his own DeviantArt with his own like imagery.
He's gonna sue us for slander.
I don't know if he
Bring
still lives.
down his good name.
That fiend. We're just monsters.
Us fiends.
Us fiends. I don't know if he still lives in the Philippines, but I know that he's from there. Stream crimes. So yeah, this guy is well known for making a series of fan comics back in 2000. I believe they started in 2004, and they're long running, still going, all about different Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and occasionally Disney sort of properties, but also just random other crap, but mostly Cartoon Network stuff.
Yeah, there's just a ton of shit in there.
Yes.
And memes.
And memes.
Memes, of course.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. We got Gangnam Style.
Yes, he loves being topical and relevant.
Yes, it's still going.
Yes. In fact, it's updated like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Looking at the site.
Mm-hmm. So if you're in the need for a currently running webcomic, you don't have to look any further.
Specifically about anime versions of Cartoon Network properties.
Put down your Homestuck and Ava's Demon and Bittersweet Candy Bowl and
classics.
read Bleed Man.
All right, so
go on snafu.com.
So how are you aware of did you read them as a kid? Or you were just
Yes, I did read them because I don't know how, but I found the Snafu website.
Yeah.
And then I read like every comic on it because I would just read everything as a child because it existed. And I read the shitty comics about like zombies and like people who have a lot of sex with each other called Sticky Floors or something.
Yep. And guess what about that comic? You know who drew that?
What?
A guy named Matt Herms, who was the current colorist for the Archie and IDW Sonic the Hedgehog comic books.
Nice.
And he made sure to delete that comic so nobody knew. That's what he used to do.
Is it too embarrassing?
Yes, I don't blame him at all. It's just funny.
Yeah. And there was a little like ninja guy comic. There was comic about bunnies. And then there was Bleed Man, which was the most entertaining one.
Yeah, I think it's easily probably the most like most people came to the site for the Bleed Man comics, I presume.
Yeah.
At least back then. But like, did they have anything? I guess they do have other comics on the site, but not like too much else. Most of them have kind of been like
You can read the Snafu Gamer comic that it's named after.
Yeah, it hasn't been updated in like over a decade.
But it's the main comic.
It is, which is kind of funny.
The site's like header comic.
Yeah, it's still called that.
Yeah.
So the thing about this, I discovered it essentially the same way. I remember exactly how I did. There was this shitty webcomic I used to read called like Power Rings, which is some crappy like Sonic Sprite comic. Mm-hmm. And a lot of webcomic sites will have like affiliate links where it's like people we know or comics we like and want you to read. So that took me to VG Cats. And VG Cats was affiliated with Snafu Comics, so I was like, "What's Snafu Comics?"
That's probably how I found it.
Yeah,
that's how I found MS Paint Adventures.
Yeah,
because it linked to like fucking Problem Sleuth, and then I started reading it, and then it was boring, and I stopped reading it from my child mind.
But Homestuck, hell yeah.
Homestuck wasn't out yet, so.
The recent Fusion Fall. That is a very common theory that Fusion Fall, the Cartoon Network MMO that was anime themed, was probably largely inspired by Bleedman. And I have to assume it's true because I don't know because it's kind of too coincidental for it not to be.
Mm-hmm. Like supposedly they wanted to hire him, right?
Yes, there was a talk about apparently they wanted to bring him on, but for somewhat obvious reasons that didn't happen. Yes, but yes, these comics have their own like MCU styled fucking like Marvel Comics shared universe, and except for when they don't, and they have a separate universe, like Gary, and they're all fucking nonsense. I love this garbage. So I read them as a kid. I read them up until like I started reading them in like 2006, and I caught up, and then in 2006 he basically just stopped updating the main one, Powerpuff Girls Dojinshi. I don't know how you say that word properly, whatever. Anyway,
yeah, Japanese.
So it's some nonsense. And then he didn't update for like 5 years, so I just forgot about it basically. So I was like, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I revisited it in like junior year of high school because somebody told me, hey, he's updating again. I was like, what? And I went to check. I was like, oh, these suck. And then these did not age well. These are all bad. He has made many comics. He's made Powerpuff Girls Dojinshi, Grim Tales from Down Below, which is based on the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy for the most part. An Invader Zim comic, which was being done by somebody else, but they never finished it. They only did like four issues, like 4 pages, and he took over and then also didn't finish it. Mm-hmm. And then some other non-fan fiction comic called Sugar Bits, which is I didn't bother reading for the purposes of this because I just wanted to talk about the shitty fan fiction.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it doesn't take place in the same universe. Doesn't matter. There's none of my favorite cartoon characters in it.
Dexter's Lab is not in there, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's just about some like furry lolly thing.
Furry lolly garbage
and a gingerbread man. I think
it's very hot topic. If I had to like ascribe anything to it.
Yeah, but so is all these comics.
Oh yeah, for sure. So. The very first fucking... So I guess we'll just get into the story. Because I want to talk about the story for the most part. It's basically what this is going to be. But is the art good? Would you say Bleedman's art is good? Because I'm going to say no.
I would say the art is on par with like most like manga artists. Like, currently. Like maybe not starting out, but I would say like yes, it's good as like an amateur comic artist.
Oh man, it sucks. What I would say is like, yes, I would agree with that to some extent. But I would say like, if you're just talking like individual drawings, I'm like, yeah, I guess he can draw stuff okay. But in terms of like a comic book, no, it's really annoying to read. He makes a lot of like.
I think he does a good job with those like big like retarded monsters and mechs and.
Yeah, those look cool and all. Like
that bullshit. Anime shit.
Yeah. He's clearly good at making like these really detailed, like cool looking like designs. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, these are kind of neat. I guess the problem is that you have like fucking these Cartoon Network characters and you already know what they look like because they're based on something that exists. So then you see his dumb interpretation of it where I'm like, like we're seeing on the screen here.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just get into it. Okay, so the first one we're gonna talk about is fucking Powerpuff Girls Dojinshi, which is not to be confused with Powerpuff Girls Z, which I think came later.
Yeah, they stole the idea.
They're like, we gotta get in here.
Yeah, clearly, we gotta get in here and make a real anime.
Clearly, there's a market we're not tapping.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need some music. I'm just gonna play the Ren and Snippy fucking background music because I feel like it works. It's just stupid enough that it deserves it.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
That reminds me, in one of the pages I was just reading, Powdered Toast Man showed up.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Yeah, it's in the back. It's in the Grim Tales comic, right?
Yeah. He's fighting evil Danny Phantom with Sonichu and Harpy G.
Yep.
And Plastic Man.
I was so confused. I was just like, what am I looking at? Just why? What did we do to deserve this? The first song on this list is called "Blood in the Gutter." It's fitting. Alright, let's make it quiet. Okay, so this starts up. This comic starts out with the Powerpuff Girls, Buttercup, Blossom, and Bubbles. They go to anime high school. They don't live in Townsville anymore. They live in Megaville.
They move to Megaville, where all the cartoons live.
Yeah. And they're superheroes, and they show up, and they're like, "We're superheroes. We're the Powerpuff Girls." And everybody laughs at them because they have a stupid name. And then, except for Dexter from Dexter's Lab. Dexter's Lab is in the same class as them, and he's like, "Hey guys, I believe you. Let's have a cool anime battle and test our superpowers." And so, because I'm
also a superhero.
Yes, because Dexter's Lab, famous superhero.
Definitely my favorite one.
So they have like a dumb anime fight, and Dexter like kind of almost kicks their ass, but then Samurai Jack, who's the gym teacher, shows up, and he's like, "No fighting, guys." And they're like, "Shoot, let's all go chill at the school dojo," which is like a 3D model because Bleedman can't draw. So then they go to the school dojo, which is almost as big as the school because dojos are giant, I guess.
Yeah.
And
they have a big martial arts budget.
Yes, because you gotta have the tournament battle. So they have
superhero school.
He owns Courage the Cowardly Dog. He's there too, and he's Samurai Jack's dog because Muriel, his previous owner, gave him up so that he.
For some reason,
we're never told.
Just showed up at Samurai Jack's apartment and said, "Here's Courage.
Take him." And then Samurai Jack is like,
whatever.
Okay. So Courage.
And then he's like, Bubbles can have.
Yeah. So Bubbles just like dotes on him. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but meanwhile, from afar, they're being watched by OC Powerpuff Girl, who's a white Powerpuff Girl,
and her father, the Orange Man.
Orange Man, who are original characters made for this comic book, who are not based on any existing characters.
Yeah.
So and also but they decide to kidnap Mojo Jojo, who I guess is also
Mojo Jojo sent a big anime monster against them that was designed by someone on DeviantArt.
Yes, somebody else who was not
to fight them.
Yeah, somebody else who's not Bleedman.
Yeah, but Samurai Jack like kills it or something, and then Mojo Jojo's like, "Damn, my plan is ruined," and then he gets kidnapped by the OC bad guys.
who is working? So he takes him back to their lair. What's the OC bag? It's like Dr. something. It's some stupid fucking name.
Dr. X?
Yeah, Dr. X, which is really generic and hard to remember. So Dr. Hey, Lala.
Yes, Orange Man is bad.
Yes, Orange Man is named Dr. X, who's like a weird volcano-looking guy. And he's like, my OC Powerpuff Girl Belle, who's also my daughter, because of course. And, because you gotta have daddy vibes all the time. And then, so they also work with Invader Zim, and it was a Nickelodeon show, and also fucking a character from Metabots, Samantha, which I'm like, that's an anime, but I guess apparently I've been told that in the Philippines that show aired on Cartoon Network, so maybe added to his confusion. I don't know. Sadly, the butt ugly Martians do not show up, as far as I know.
Maybe one day.
Maybe someday. We're waiting.
Yeah.
By the way, I just to have an aside, he's like 40.
Well, wait, how old was he then? Like 30?
Still too old, yeah. Okay, that was like 15 years ago. He was like, what? He was like 25 or something.
Yeah. Well, he can't, like, stop it. It has to keep going.
Okay, yeah, because it's all he's got, really. So...
No matter how old he gets, he needs to continue the fan fiction.
He's got to add Yakety Yak eventually. We're getting there. And Class 3000. Yeah.
And Total Drama Island.
I don't know if he has a... Do you know if he has a Patreon or not? Did you look into it?
I didn't check, but he probably does.
I presume he does. Because I can't see why else he would keep doing it, other than just clout. I guess just like, remember this thing? Because nobody fucking reads it.
Yes, it says he has a Patreon.
Okay.
It's under Vinson, his other username. he makes $374 a month from 87 patrons.
That's a lot less than I thought it would be.
And his last post was August 30th, and he drew Rosachu from Sonic.
Pang says, "How have you been, Blake?"
I've been great, thanks, Pang.
Is it the next list? The next song on this list is called "Gay Activity," so I think it's suitable.
It's a new Paranormal Activity movie.
Gay yeah, the ghost sucks your cock.
Yeah. I'll watch that.
I'm sure it's
sounds like something gonna happen in Scary Movie.
Yeah. What? Do you remember there was they made a shitty parody of it with like the Wayne Bros?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called like Black People House.
Yeah. That's not true. Anyway, I don't remember what it's called either.
Ghost House or some shit.
Yeah. Something stupid. So yes. The bad guys are like, we must defeat the Powerpuff Girls, and Invader Zim is like, wait, why? They're not that strong. Even they couldn't even beat Dexter's lab. And then they're like, no, but they have a secret power that they will eventually unlock. They'll destroy my plans. So then we go back to the Powerpuff Girls, and Blossom and Dexter, they start cozying up to each other. They start to have a little romantic tension. As they get Buttercup is like a jock, and she has a
fan club.
Yeah, she has her own fan club because everybody thinks she's really cool, and it consists of
with Tootie and the girl from Johnny Bravo.
Yes, Tootie from Fairly Odd Parents and Little Susie from Johnny Bravo.
Yes.
And then Blossom ends up hanging out with Mandy from Billy and Mandy, and like Gaz from Invader Zim.
You mean Bubbles?
And Bubbles.
Yeah. And Bubbles is friends with Gaz and Mandy because she's all like bubbly and they're emo and not bubbly, so it's
fun.
It's a big juxtaposition.
Erwin does show up briefly, but he's not a character. There's, by the way, like in the school, there's like tons of cameos, like constantly. So you see like Mike, Lou, and Og, and like Chowder and Flapjack, and they're just there. They don't contribute to the story at all.
Like Buttercup beat up Chowder while she was like training to be a samurai or some shit.
Yes, under Samurai Jack, and also like Ed and Eddie are there, and they hang out with Billy.
The Joker sort of shows up.
Yes.
They dress up as the Joker for Halloween and like other Batman characters.
But they do acknowledge in universe that the Superman and the Justice League do exist.
Yes,
you just don't ever see
they do.
Them.
And the Teen Titans.
And the Teen Titans, yes, of course.
Erwin does show up for like a couple pages in the other comic, Grim Tales, which we'll get to later.
We'll get to, because there's a lot to unpack in there. So then and they're friends of SWAT Cats. The SWAT Cats actually do show up. They have there's also Otto from Time Squad, who's like Dexter's only other friend, I guess. And I feel like I might be jumping ahead, so feel free to correct me if I'm missing something. Okay. But don't they find basically kind of nothing happens for a while, and then they find out about no, sorry, I remember now. We cut to like XJ9 like somewhere else in like Nevada or some shit. And she's
fighting the Rowdy Rough Boys.
Yeah, for some sort of test. Because why not?
That's been seen to by I Am Weasel.
Yes, I Am Weasel is working for the government and the Men in Black, who are also in this universe.
And the Skyway Patrol, of course.
And the Skyway Patrol, of course, from the Teenage Robot. They're all working together to keep tabs on Dr. X, but also perform some sort of like some sort of weird research that doesn't culminate until like several chapters later. But it's just mentioned now. So, back at school, Blossom is like, man, I sure think Dexter is dreamy. I'm gonna hang out with him in the library. So they do that, and Dexter leaves to go do something else. I mean, I think
he's all distant, and she's like, why is he like this?
Yeah, exactly.
He's so dreamy, and he's mysterious.
So she accidentally opens like a bookcase in the school library, which opens a secret compartment, which leads to another lab that Dexter has hidden in the school. And she finds like the dead body of his sister Dee Dee, and she's like, "What the fuck?" But it's actually like a robot cyborg with human flesh and blood. And then,
made to look like Dee Dee. Yeah.
Made to look like Dee Dee. So Dexter stumbles upon it. She's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Ah, shit." She runs away, and then Dexter like doesn't talk to her for a while. because I don't know, he's ashamed or something. So then Otto from Time Squad is like,
from Time Squad, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I
gotta show you the proof now.
I gotta show you the backstory. So they time travel and go back to when Dee Dee was still alive because Dee Dee is dead, and Dee Dee.
Yeah, Dee Dee's dead.
Dee Dee is dead, and because at some point Mandark, who has Jackbots, who are the robots that Jack Spicer has from Shaolin Showdown, but Jack Spicer does not make an appearance in this comic book. So I don't know why they did that. Anyway, Mandark and Dexter have some sort of like final showdown in his lab, and Dexter is about to get blasted, and Dee Dee's like, no, I'll save you, Dexter, and Dee Dee pushes him out of the way and gets fucking killed, and then.
Yeah. And Dexter's like holding her corpse and crying.
Yeah, he's like devastated. And Mandark is
like,
also.
I told you to stay out of my laboratory.
You stupid girl. So he has to reveal to his parents that he had a lab because he has to explain that Dee Dee is dead. So they go to her funeral, and Mandark is devastated that he because he had a crush on her in the show, and that he accidentally killed her.
And Dexter holds up a scalpel to him, about to kill him.
He's about to get revenge with a scalpel and cut his neck open, but he doesn't. So Mandark forever hates him because he wouldn't kill him to free him of the torment of missing Dee Dee. So Blossom understands all this now, and Blossom's like, wow, that's a lot of backstory. But then a giant robot dinosaur shows up, and Belle shows up, who's the OC white prop girl who's like super strong, and also her best friend is Gurr in the little dog suit from Invader Zim. And they have a fight, and then Blossom's like, you can't beat me, but then a fucking like robot dinosaur shows up and beats the hell out of her and takes her and kidnaps her. So I was like, alright.
So Blossom gets kidnapped by Mandark, who's also working for Dr. X.
Yes, and he's like a surrogate son and he's also like, he's considered like Belle's sister.
Brother.
Yeah, Belle's brother, sorry. And this may be a dinosaur. And Blossom is kept in containment in like a tube that's filling with water that you can't break out of for some reason. So then Dexter's like, I gotta save her. Otto, don't tell anybody, don't tell our sisters about this. I need to do this on my own because I need to have my ultimate final showdown with Mandark. So he takes.
So he goes to Instant Messenger. He goes on MSN and he contacts Coop from Megas XLR.
Yeah. Hey, I was fixing up your robot for you. Can I borrow it? To go fight Mandark, and he's like, "No, man, I gotta go. That's my ride." So then they go. So Coop shows up, and they get in Megas together, and they all fly. They go to the evil secret island where Blossom is being kept.
And Dexter has a program on it that it's like a Dee Dee protocol that makes the robot do ballet and shit like Dee Dee.
Yes, exactly, because of course. And it makes it dance around because Samantha from Metabots has her own giant like robot Metabot that is
giant
also
Metabot, yep.
That's also simultaneously. I looked this up because I didn't know. I was like, it has like a chef's hat on. I was wondering why. It's because it's a reference to a mascot of a fast food chain that's only in the Philippines.
Yep.
Called like VB or something. Anyway, because of course. Let's see if I'm describing it. Yeah, I sound like I'm fucking high. This is all real. Anyway, so they go. So Coop fights the robot while Dexter sneaks in because he's like Batman, I guess, and he has like little Dexter rings, which I guess he does have in the show. So kudos to remembering that. Jollibee, thank you. So he. What's the name of the mascot? So he sneaks in, and Mandark is like, let's fight, Dexter. Yeah, let's do it. So they have like a big anime showdown, and they have like metal fists, and they punch the fuck out of each other. While
Blossom is drowning.
Yeah, Blossom's like, I gotta get out of here. And Dexter's like, hold on, I'm being cool real fast. So then it's like supposed to be like really dramatic, but they keep having they keep doing the joke from the Dexter's lab where they kind of do like the little slap fight for a second, but then they actually have a big anime fight, so it's stupid. So then, I forget how does Blossom get out of the tube? Doesn't Dexter just free her?
I don't remember.
I remember now. It's because Otto can keep the secret, so Buttercup and Bubbles do find out, and they show up to help Coop, and then with Coop's help, they break in and they manage to free Blossom. That's right.
Oh, and another thing to note was like Blossom was like to Otto was like, why can't you go back in time and save Dee Dee from dying? And he's like, I can't change the time continuum.
And I'm like, wait, wasn't that your job? I guess to be fair, it's his job to make sure it proceeds normally. But it's just funny. So they. So Mandark is like, Mandark's like, no, my plan, it's all ruined. And then Dexter's like, you fucking stupid asshole, you killed my sister, why should I feel bad for you? And then Mandark's like, I have a sister too. Remember that my sister that was mentioned one time in an episode?
In that one episode named Lolavavo?
Yeah, or Olga, or whatever the fuck.
And I like Dee Dee so much because she reminded me of my sister.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's
why I wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Cool. Anyway, so they, anime. So they go, so Mandark is like, so Dexter feels bad for him because I was like, oh, you have a sister too? Oh, okay, well, I guess you've already been defeated, let's just leave. So Mandark's like, Mandark is like crazy now, and he's like, what? You're gonna kill my sister? He's like, I didn't say that. And Mandark tries to fight him, but then like, Buttercup intervenes and like knocks his lights out or something. So then, so they manage to
leave him there to die.
Yeah, they leave him. So he arms bombs to just kill himself and destroy the whole island and kill them with him. But they manage to escape before he can do that. So Mandark gets blown up, so he's dead.
And it's like self-destruct. Yeah.
Yes, he kills himself, and then so everybody else escapes. So Dr. X is like, oh, well, he's dead now. Fuck. And then Belle's like, what? That was my brother. How could you have let him die?
And then he's like, shut up, Belle, and he fucking spanks her.
Yes, he literally pulls her pants down like a child and spanks her. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then, so in the rubble where the lair used to be that Mandark just blew up, I guess it's just sometime later. So Olga, his sister, who has been trying to find Mandark this whole time, finds the rubble and finds his glasses, and so she's like, I guess Dexter killed him. So she decides, so she also happens to go to the same school that they do, of course. So,
but they never noticed her until after.
Yeah, until now. It's not shown that like she like transferred there. She's just always been there, and they just didn't notice. She wasn't important to the plot until now. So, I was going to jail, problem. So we're back, and here's where I get a little confused. This comic is like really just badly paced, and there's lots of diverging plot lines that don't really get resolved or make much sense. So it's hard to keep it all track. And you would think there'd be like a wiki, and there is, but it's awful because it's maintained by like 11-year-olds, so it's all
children,
just like,
yeah.
Yes, it's just complete and total garbled nonsense. So it's impossible to like look up a summary of this. So anyway, in space, Atomic Betty. No, this is right. I remember now. This is right. Atomic Betty is floating in space, and her entire crew is fucking dead, and she's just like floating, like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then fucking
the fucking robot.
Yes, Amazo
just
from
dead.
DC Comics shows up and rescues her, and they go somewhere else. And you never see what happens to her. She's just gone. So the reason why. So we're previously shown a flashback where her ship was attacked by what's the bad guy from TNG? Vexus?
No, she was investigating
Vex's
ship.
You're right. Thank you.
And they went in and they saw like Vexus talking to like the fucking I don't know, the Earth robots or something.
Yes.
And Robot Boy was there. I don't know.
Yeah, Robot Boy was there, but he was like turned into a bad guy because they like
robot.
Yeah, they reprogrammed him because you all remember Robot Boy.
Yeah,
of course.
But
he's reprogrammed to be evil.
Sees her and they like murder Sparky.
Yeah, her robot, and they kill the other. I guess they kill him. It's you don't really see what happens, but he's
yeah. But he dies off screen. He gets like crunched or something.
Yeah, he's eaten by like a metal dinosaur robot thing. So then he's dead. So then Betty barely escapes, so she just left adrift in space, and then Amazo rescues her. So yeah.
She goes into like it's like last resort. I'm gonna go into hyperdrive and destroy the ship as I leave.
Yes.
That's what happens.
So the Last Jedi stole that. Anyway, the point. So So this is where in the real world, this is where the comic went on hiatus for essentially 5 years. There was like just nothing for like a long time. And then it came back suddenly. So then, it wasn't 5. Maybe it was like 3 or 4. But like around like 2009, 2010, I think it picks back up. So then, so we're back, and I think it's shown that for some reason Vexus is working in league with other bad guys who are also working in league with Dr. X back on Earth for some reason. But this isn't also never really pays off, or at least hasn't yet. So they attack.
It'll just take a few years.
Yeah, it's taken a while. They attack the Irken ship that the tallest are on to steal something from them. Isn't that the case or something?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they steal some kind of technology from them. And then but also
the tallest just care about the snacks.
Yeah, they destroy their snack reserve by accident, so the tallest are angry about that. But you don't really see what happens to them. So back on Earth, on the Earth, Blossom is back, and everybody's chilling. And Dexter, so Olga, they have like a beach party episode where they go because of course,
because they meet Olga, yeah.
Yes, Olga. They meet Olga.
She invites
at the beach.
them to the beach or some shit.
Yeah. But she uses it as a chance to essentially confront Dexter to explain that she kind of implies that I know that you're kind of why Mandark is dead, but I'm not angry with you. And now they have romantic tension, she and Dexter.
Yeah, it's a love triangle now with Blossom, Dexter, and Olga.
Yes, of course.
And she gets Bubbles to join her ballet team.
Yes.
And the head of the ballet team is Agent Honeydew from Monkey.
From Monkey. Also, Monkey's here, but he's not. But nobody knows he's Monkey, of course.
Yeah.
So
he's got a secret identity.
Of course.
Fine.
So they're planning for some sort of like special science event that Blossom and Dexter are presenting some sort of like big thing at. It's some kind of like nuclear.
Oh, and the principal is General Scar.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you. I can't forget that. Yeah, the principal is General Scar from Evil Con Carne. Yeah. So then they go to fucking. They need to prepare for this event that's being overseen by Wakeman, Dr. Wakeman from Teenage Robot, and what's the Dr. Sari? What was the guy's name from Transformers Animated?
I don't know.
No, Sari's the girl. Her father is overseeing it, and a bunch of science guys are there.
Professor Membrane.
Yeah, Professor Membrane is also there. So then, they have...
And, XJ9 shows up beforehand. She tours the school with Bubbles.
Yeah.
Gaz needs, like, batteries for her game slave.
Yes.
And she's like, I always keep a set of batteries charging. Because apparently Jenny runs on double A's. So she gives...
It's very, very efficient, okay? Anyway, so they're having this big science meetup, and the Men in Black are... This isn't a government facility where the Men in Black are also headquartered, but I guess everybody's cool with that. So they're having this big, like, presentation, and then, like, of course...
They're gonna give, like, Nora Wakeman an award or something?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I believe so. So then... the X9 is on stage with her, and they're like, "This is great," and like Buttercup is catering the event because I guess she learned how to cook, and then the cluster are in cahoots with Dr. X show up and like use like a weird portal thing helmet and put it on no, Gur does it, sorry. Gur sneaks into the event and puts a portal helmet thing on XJ9, and I don't know where this comes from, but I guess...
Because he was like an exhibit, like a robot toy,
yes,
and then he like runs around... And they're like, oh, wacky robot toy.
Yeah, they don't realize it's Gur.
Yeah.
So they slap a helmet on fucking he slaps a helmet on X9's head, and that makes a portal so the cluster can come in and fight. So everybody fights the cluster. And there's a confusing so something this comic does that really pisses me off is that there's gag pages that are not separate. They're just included in the action, and they'll often happen after something dramatic happens.
So you just assume they're, like, real.
Yes.
You can't tell otherwise.
Yeah, for like a second. You're like, wait, what? Does that happen? Oh, then the real thing that happens... what actually happens to the next page, which is really stupid, and never do that if you have a
So
comic.
what happens in the gag page?
So in the gag page, in their normal page, the powerful girls are hit by a laser, and you're like, oh shit, are they dead? And then the next page, they get turned to My Little Ponies, and I was like, what? And then but it was a gag. It was just a joke, April Fool's thing. So then they cut back, and all that happened was that they got knocked out, and then they're fine though. So I was like, okay. Yeah. So they evacuate everybody. Meanwhile, Gur and Belle and the Samantha from Metabots, who got hurt in the previous fight with Coop and gets cyborg parts, because of course. So she has like a fucking samurai sword now. No, sorry. She attacks Jack and steals his sword. That's right.
Yes, she took Jack's sword.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that Jack's sword can't hurt good people, so she just waves it around. But nobody else knows it either, so they're all trying to not get slashed by it. So anyway, so they have this big stupid fight because Bell has a bomb.
yeah, Sock. They fought Coop in the Megas XLR.
Yes,
when
previously.
He was destroying Mandark's lab.
Yes, previously. You might have missed that.
Yeah.
The Rainbow Monkeys are not involved.
Unfortunately, Kids Next Door, I don't think have shown up yet.
Yes, or if they do, it's probably just a cameo. But so they have a bomb that we don't know what it will do when it goes off, but they just assume it's some sort of bomb. So the Men in Black are like, shit, we need to stop them from setting that bomb off. So all the scientists get hidden away along with Dexter and everybody else, and they're taken to like a safe room because they had no weapons.
But they can't get the door open.
Yeah, they can't get the door open, so they're all stuck outside. Like, oh no, what's gonna happen to us? Meanwhile, Blossom and Belle have this stupid fight where Gur has the bomb. And then Belle is trying to keep Blossom busy so that Gur can have time to set the bomb up. But then Blossom keeps looking at Gur to imply that I'm going to zap him with my laser beam eyes and kill him. And that pisses Belle off so much that she can't fight properly. So Blossom beats her up. And then she goes to turn off the bomb. But then they fuck up and the bomb gets... I forget, how does that happen again? Like they accidentally... What's going on?
Because she like destroys like the wire that activates the bomb.
Yes.
And then like Metabot Samantha, she like tries to kill Gur and Belle gets mad, so she kills Metabot Samantha and she lands in like the place where the wire is, so she becomes the connector of the wire.
Because she's So Samantha from Metabots is dead now. And she becomes a ghost and the bomb goes off. And the bomb So this is why I said it gets super confusing, because not that it wasn't already, but like it's really hard to tell what the bomb is actually supposed to do, and this comic does a really bad job explaining.
Makes like a big white light.
Yes, and it consumes everything. So everyone's like, oh, I guess we're dead now. Goodbye, everybody. So then Monkey, who was there, was fighting another guy, and then he was fighting one of the cluster. And then, like, they're the only two left, because the entire Earth is consumed by this fucking light, and they're in space now, trying to get away from it. So then
they're fighting in space, yeah.
Yeah, so this cluster guy's like, how honorable do I get to fight Monkey, the guy who fought Superman to a standstill? And I was like, what? Yeah. And then Monkey gets mad and tears him in half. and then Monkey just like...
He's like, too late, Monkey, you failed. The bomb went off and everyone's dead.
And then Monkey's like, no.
Monkey cries.
Yeah, Monkey cries as the light consumes him. So, in this, like, weird state between, like, life and death, the Grim Reaper from The Great Adventures of Billy and Mandy shows up, and Dee Dee, who's an angel, and an original character who's, like, a dragon guy.
Yep.
What's his name? Do we remember?
He's Naga, I think?
Yes, his name is Naga. And he's like an original character made by somebody else. So something to note about...
a bunch of like DeviantArt characters.
Yes. No, not just that. Because remember the comic also switches writers at points.
Mm-hmm.
So Bleedman writes it for the most part, and I think he still like plans it, but the
he gets
details,
like other writers for some chapters.
They fill it in. So which to obviously great effect. So so they
while the bomb's going off, because everyone thinks they're about to die, everyone's like crying and like hugging, and Olga and Dexter kiss.
Yes.
For no reason other than they're gonna die.
Yes, they're just like, let's kiss now, and then they kiss.
I know I'm dating Blossom, but who cares?
But fuck her. So then, this character I met 5 minutes ago, I have no chemistry with.
Mm-hmm. And who wanted to kill me for killing her brother or something.
No, but the Earth isn't blown up. That's why it gets confusing, but we're not... I'll explain once we're done here. It's like... Samantha's soul is grabbed by Dee Dee, and Dee is like, well, I'm going to teach her to be a good person now. So we learn about... So for some reason, this is the time we learn about Samantha's backstory, where there used to be...
With Dr. X?
Yes, with Dr. X. So there used to be she used to be a Metabot fighter, but then her Metabots... All the Metabots went haywire for some reason, and like hers had to be deactivated. So she's all so she got attacked by it, and she's like in a hospital.
She got all like ripped up and stuff by it.
Yeah. So she's like fucked up and like in a coma. So then Dr. X
shows up.
Who's like
be my daughter now.
Yeah, be my daughter now. And she's like, okay.
I'll give you cyborg parts.
She's like, okay, I guess it's better than being in a fucking hospital. So she gets like cyborg parts, and she's no longer a Metabot fighter. So she works for Dr. X. So it's Dr. X. So she breaks into like an Antarctic like medical military facility to free Invader Zim, who was being captured.
Go get Invader. We need him.
We need him to do something.
And he was captured by the Men in Black. So she has to go save him.
Yeah. So she uses her cyborg parts and also the ability to she pilots a jet, which I guess she could just do. And it's the jet from SWAT Cats, because of course it is.
Yep.
So she grabs him. They go back, and you also learn a little more Dr. X's backstory. He used to be like a guy with like white anime hair, and then he uses this weird like your early version of the bomb, I think, to transform himself into like this volcano demon god.
Yeah, he uses chemical X.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Turn himself into it's a chemical X bomb.
Yeah.
Turn himself into like a big orange demon man.
Yes. Samantha from Metabots is flying the jet, to be clear. So
he's basically like an anime Dr. Utonium.
Alright, see you, Ian. Yeah, exactly. So he is like, now I will become God, Belle, and Belle's like, you're scaring me, and she's like, shut up. So then they go,
shut up, I'm still your father.
I'm still your dad, stupid. So then
he's nice to her again.
He's nice to her again because I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so they're all working together now, and so back in the present, Samantha is like, "What do I do? I'm just a soul now." And he's like, "You can hang out." Dee's like, "You can hang out with me now." So she becomes an angel. So she has to like earn her angel wings, and this is never followed up on. So then
it'll be followed up on eventually.
I know. I never had. It's really hard to explain because like 50 things happen in this one interval. So I'm sorry if it sounds confusing, because I'm also confused. So to reiterate, Samantha in the present is dead and is now become an angel and hangs out with Dee Dee, who was also dead, Dexter's sister. Meanwhile,
because she convinced Grimm to let her be an angel.
Yes, and Grimm's like, yeah, whatever. So then they go. So then Naga speaks to Belle, who is not dead, but like in some sort of purgatory state. And Blossom and Buttercup are kind of there, but they don't really do anything. They just kind of. They have no like interaction with anything. They're just stuck here. So then Naga tells Belle about something, and she's like, you have to like. I guess he tries to convince her to not be a bad guy, but Belle disagrees. So nothing comes out of that. So then we go back to the bomb's light disappears. So it didn't blow anything up. It just flashed a big light. So nobody knows what happened.
Yeah, it didn't really do anything, and maybe they'll explain it one day.
Yes. So then Belle is like, all right, see ya. So then so Samantha's dead, and Belle just fucking takes her and leaves. And then Blossom's like, what the fuck? So then that's kind of it. So they go they go back, and Belle's like, I don't really get it. Why did we do that? And Invader Zim is just like, yeah, explain. And Dr. X is like, I'll explain never! And 500 years from now! So I was like, okay. So, they go. So the Rowdy Rough Boys, the XJ9, now have to go to their school, to their anime high school,
because important stuff happens there, and they gotta just live there now.
Yes, to keep an eye on things. So now there's like tension. So they have like anime slice of life stuff happen where the Rowdy Rough Boys are like, all the girls in school love them, and they're constantly causing trouble and making a ruckus.
And they beat up Spurg because he was bullying Ed.
Yes.
From Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah, she was bullying Double D, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they're like, so then Dexter and Blossom are especially annoyed with this. Like, dang it. So they're still friends, but I guess they don't have any like romantic tension anymore. It's just gone. They don't really seem to acknowledge the fact that he kissed Olga. So that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't really. It's not really a love triangle. It just kind of unceremoniously ends.
Just like real love.
Exactly. So they go to school like off hours, and Dexter has to prepare some sort of like, they basically redo the presentation they were going to give, but instead they just give it at school when no one's around. Mm-hmm. So then they
go to like Dexter's lab in the basement.
Yes, so Dexter has to take the time to clear Dee Dee's body out of the fake Dee Dee that he was making to replace the real Dee Dee, but then gave up on because I guess he felt bad about it. So then so Blossom's just like, man, I hope he has time to clear out that fake Dee Dee. So they go in there and it's gone now. And then Dexter's just like, oh, yep, it's gone. Anyway, don't worry about it. I wasn't doing anything. So here's my presentation. So then...
And Gaz and Dib follow Professor Membrane there for some ulterior motives that aren't really explained.
They wanted Spy to see something because he wants to, I guess he just wants to learn about government secrets, but it's not... I don't know why he would want to learn that, and he never says.
And they set off like the traps because Gaz throws Dib in and he like gets shot with lasers and shit.
Yes, it's very funny.
Yeah. It's very funny.
So that's where I'm gonna leave it because that's as far as I read.
I read a bit farther, I think.
Okay.
Maybe like by one page.
Okay.
Because the newest thing that happened was Olga went into Dexter's lab and like stole something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And he's like, Olga, you're betraying me now. Oh no.
So
she's constantly switching sides. You can't tell if she's good or bad.
You'll never know. So yeah, so the comic is still being updated. I leave it up where I left because that's where at the time when I'd finished, that's where it was done. So then Blake kept reading a little more than I did because they kept. He's been updating regularly. So the thing about those comics is that at least for PPG, for a long when they first began, he updated them like all the time. But then over time, it got more and more sporadic. Even after the hiatus, it wasn't like regular. But then I guess recently, it's like all he has now. So he just kind of updates it like semi-frequently. So you'll get updates pretty quickly. I mean, not that you want to read this, but you know. So let's talk about the art. So initially, it's a little tame. Like it doesn't look great initially because very obviously, like I like anime and shit. And it's still the case now, but at least he kind of develops a little more of like a unique style as he keeps going. Somewhat not for the better, but whatever. The biggest thing is, you know, there's always little girl panty shots in his comic book, and it's really creepy. But initially, early on, there isn't. And the fact that he shows a lot of restraint, because it's just like at least as far as it is for Bleedman. And then at a certain point, there's just nothing but panty shots for like entire pages. Yes, music. It's the graveyard song.
But it's actually like a lot more prevalent in Grim Tales than it is for
it is really
Powerpuff Girls D. Like that's more of like a PG-13 comic, and Grim Tales is more like rated M for mature.
Yes.
Like they swear in that one.
They don't swear much. They say like damn, maybe like occasionally.
They said faggot.
No. I mean PPGD, not Grim Tales. They do say faggot. They say faggot a couple times.
Yeah, but they also censor other words, and you can't really tell. They censor random words.
Yeah, they'll censor fuck, but then they won't censor fuck sometimes. It's really confusing.
Then they'll just say whore.
Yeah, which is just like, I mean, that's not...
stuff.
Yeah, it's like, why is that different than the other thing? Whatever. Anyway, so...
And I should mention that there is a Powerpuff Girls D Flash fighting game.
There's a fighting game, which I guess I should pull up, huh?
Maybe.
Okay, hold on, let me find it.
Where you can play as the Powerpuff Girls, Dexter, Belle, I think.
Yes, and Invader Zim, who's a secret character.
Yeah, the final boss is Invader Zim. Yeah, Battle in Megaville.
Yeah, and Butter.
I did play it.
I remember looking at. I remember when thinking about it when I was reading this comics. I was like, I remember it looking okay, and look back, I was like, never mind. These are really bad.
I actually I played it before I read the comic, and before I even knew about the comic, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is the Powerpuff Girls all anime now? I thought it was cool.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Let me see this shit. I wonder if I can get it on the screen here. Probably not. There's only 2 buttons in this game.
Yeah, what more do you need? Other than like attack button and 1 jump button.
That's all you need to have. Alright, can I get this on the screen? Or is this gonna fuck up? Let's find out.
Are you gonna do a full playthrough?
No. But I'll play a little bit. Window capture. There it is. Firefox, you want me to see it? I guess not. Cool.
Firefox wants to save you from it.
No! Make it stop. I want bad things.
And also something I should mention about the comic is that like sometimes there's just pages missing, like not there.
Yes.
And you have to find them like elsewhere.
Sometimes for the Grim Tales comic, the first page is not the first page. It's like the 75th page or something. It's like fucking just out of order because they fuck up the dating.
Some like random page, and it says the archive says it was published in 1975.
Yeah,
the first page.
Like, that's not possible. So, yeah, genius. Geniuses are working. Okay, I think I got it.
And the layout of the Snafu site is really bad.
Yes, horrendous.
They haven't like updated the site layout in like probably years. There's still links to like Google Plus and like MySpace and Friendster. And
yeah,
shit.
Friendster, dig.
You could post the comic on your Friendster. Here's an embed code.
Yay, on my MySpace.
Yeah.
Let me crop this shit. I hate how OBS is cropping so much. It's really bad.
Do you like the dancing girl?
I love the dancing.
Yeah, beautiful.
So it makes me happy. Makes me
2007
Damn.
classic.
Jesus. That's the thing too. I don't know if
that.
It says it was added
like
to the
that
site.
default flash font and everything.
Yeah, I know. Look at the fuck. It's played 7 million times.
Popular.
I guess. Wait, hold on. Let me scroll this. 1 moment. Okay, that's too much. You know what? XSplit sucks, but at least you can crop stuff easily.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I would kind of have against OBS. This music is rather fitting. You can do it, folks. We're getting there.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Now, I don't know the story
There we
behind
go.
this. Was this like an officially licensed Bleedman
No, I just
game?
think some dude made it.
Just like some fan game?
Yeah, some guy just made it, and that's really
Yeah.
about it. Okay, I got it. That's good. Alright, guys, let's do it. We're playing this shit. Time to show off my... This game's about to be loud as hell, I just know it. By the way, read the PPGD comics, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Needs more readers, needs your support.
Is it
Keep
a minigame?
it afloat.
What do you think the minigame is?
It's gonna be Snake.
Oh, okay.
That's my guess. Play the minigame.
Let's do it. Great. Girl was damaged. Press up to... Oh, damn good.
Yeah, this looks like the fucking alien Neopet. You're right. That mascot.
Oh god, you're right. Ah, shit. That great logo. Oh. This rocks.
Oh, what? Oh.
Highly on
Girl was
games.
damaged. Yep.
Thank you, Dan. Oh shit, intro.
I like the really badly compressed JPEG.
Yeah. They just have to cram it as much as they can to fucking flash. Oh shit. Big fight. This is the Battle of fucking Megaville.
Battle of Ages.
Battle of the Ages.
Yeah, the panty shots are all there.
Of course. Alright, you can't just use the fucking keyboard. Of course you can. Let's hop. Let's play some verses, Blake. No, let's hop in the story.
Yeah, just set up Hamachi.
Yeah, let me get this going. Alright, boys. Who we rolling here? Who we rolling? Got
all of the Rowdy Rough Boys.
You can just Belle, Dexter, Buttercup, Bubbles, Blossom.
Yeah, this does look like a GBA game.
It does. These are like Gaia Online like sprites.
Yeah, when I was a child, I would play as Dexter. I liked him. I thought he was cool.
He's sick. He throws D's.
The Rowdy Rough Boys have been revived.
They are set for revenge against the Powerpuff Girls. This time they're more prepared than ever. Alright, what kind of moves do I got? Is this like Street Fighter? Do I got... Oh my god.
Yourself.
Fight my bro, dude. Wow, this is that was even worse than I remember. Holy shit. Wait, I can't attack. Oh, okay, there you go.
There you go.
This is something. Amazing.
This looks so slow.
It's really bad. It's really floaty. It feels like that's that fucking Sonic battle. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Sonic Battle or a Dragon Ball Z GBA game.
Yeah, Super Sonic Warriors or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
this is some. How do I do my moves? Like, it's not like quarter circles or nothing. There's just stuff. Okay.
Come on, there's no joystick to play this on. Okay.
I mean, you can still use it on the D. You can still use it on arrow keys.
It told you the combos and the menu, and it like there's 3 of them, and they all just like button presses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Weren't you paying attention?
No.
Did you do your fucking research?
No.
Come on.
This is rocks.
You can beat it.
Why does it only do it? I'm in the air. Why would I ever? What situation would that be? Oh my god.
In case you both jump up at the same time.
Oh, okay. We need this at Evo, guys.
Yeah.
Move over Under Night in Birth.
This needs to replace the new Smash.
This is actually gonna be a new character in Smash.
Yeah, this is gonna be. You thought it was gonna be Tracer? Fuck that.
You're
Rowdy
wrong.
Rough Boys.
Rowdy Rough Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the gradient of. Oh, I love this shit. This makes me so happy. Rowdy Rough.
And
Boys.
you get a Chemical X
Yeah,
for winning.
I got one. Now it could be Dr.
Yeah.
X. Yeah.
I don't know why Invader Zim was the boss for this, because he was never really like a big thing in the comics.
No, he barely does anything. I don't even know why they kidnapped him.
Just kind of like a pushover.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah. They have him to like make like machines or some shit.
I guess maybe that's why. I guess Mojo Jojo does. Mojo Jojo does even less despite him being. That's just a super
Yeah,
move.
Mojo Jojo doesn't do anything. They get Mojo Jojo and he never shows up again. They talk to him like maybe once.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, I guess he exists. How do you block?
No block button, I'm sure.
I think I'm stuck. Oh, okay. Well, you can move. Oh, okay. I thought you got Sky Jump in the back, and I was like, what? Oh, a second. Let's see. Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
This tech.
Great
This
game.
tech.
Abort.
Abort. Alright, I think I enough of that. Anyway,
Okay, are we moving on to Grim Tales?
I think so. Oh wait, one last thing about this
Okay.
game. They had so there was like a video where they were like, we're adding tons of new characters, and people were like, oh, is this real? And then checked, it was just a fucking like fake hoax bullshit, which is really funny. Cause I'm just like, just the imagine that the idea that someone went through was really excited for this like that.
Yeah.
They're finally bringing it back.
Did they use like the sprites from the beginning of like I Am Weasel? Whoever.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I would play as I Am Weasel.
Oh my god, there's a demo. The hell? I'm in like an attract mode. Alright, that's enough of this. Okay, so that's PPG. So let's move on to the even more confusing and controversial and weird, not that guy.
Grim Tales from Down Below.
Well, this guy's also confusing and controversial and weird, but let's talk about Grim Tales from Down Below. I cannot find like an actual just cover of it for some reason. At least not one that wasn't like the tiniest image ever. Even the one for PPG I have is like really tiny. It's like 400 by 500.
So does anyone want to guess who these characters are?
Yes. Actually, it's a good question. Yeah. Anyone want to guess? So, voice of Skeleton because he's cool. It's not sad. You know, it's funny because this predates Undertale by like a very long time, and he does look like Sans.
They ripped off this comic to make Sans.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised in that instance. I kind of would.
No, this is not Billy and Mandy.
No, this is
or their sons.
But one of them is this is Grim Jr. and Mini Mandy.
Mini Mandy, yep, that's their names.
That's literally their names.
It's the love child of Grim and Mandy.
Yes, because of course. So this comic opens up. This is called The Grim Tales from Down Under, and it is a fucking... So it's the sister series to Powerpuff Girls Doujinshi, but it does not occur in the same universe. It's a separate, like, bad end timeline, like timeline that's like a couple, like 20 years later in the future or something.
Yeah, yes, Dogma. Mandy fucks a lot, and a lot of different people.
Yes, we learn as we keep going. There's a lot of sex that Mandy has, and none of it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean they're Jamaican? We don't ever hear how they sound, so I don't know.
Well, the kid is like generic young boy, and the girl talks in like Shakespearean or some shit. I don't know why. Oh, it's explained because Helga from Hey Arnold taught her to do that.
Yeah, it was just like,
because she was her tutor.
It's like, why Helga?
In the underworld where they live. So
I will say, I guess if I could, I can't even call it praise. Like, what would I even call? Something I'll say about at the very least about Powerpuff Girls is that for the most part, he takes like the personalities of the characters from the show and kind of keeps them semi-consistent, and he'll have all these like little like he clearly watches the fuck out of these stupid cartoons, and he remembers like all of them, all these dumb little details, and he like references them and puts them in the comics and stuff. This is where he just stops caring. So he just basically takes like he's the original of the characters and just like kind of has like the real characters that they're based on like in the backdrop, and they're complete out of character and don't do anything that's like that they would normally do, I guess, if you really care about that.
Mm-hmm.
So this opens up with Spawn showing up.
Yeah, because Mini Mandy and Grim Jr. are in the underworld for some arbitrary task, getting some shit, and Spawn shows up.
Yes, because they're being attacked by a monster. They live in the underworld because the Earth has been destroyed by some unknown thing that we find out later. So nobody lives on the Earth anymore. So they're all living in the underworld and chilling out, and they go get some flowers or something, and a monster attacks them. But then luckily Spawn from Image Comics shows up and fights the monster. So this prompts a backstory. This is not like 5 pages in. So like, okay, let's do a flashback about why we're here.
Yes.
About why
Spawn is like, you two look interesting. Tell me about your lives.
Yeah, because Spawn would care about that. While in a fight with somebody else.
Yep.
He's like, tell me about your backstories, and he's like, Grim Jr. is like, okay. So they flash back, and Grim Jr. was a normal human boy at one point who had like. Kind of.
He was not a human boy.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
He was always a skeleton boy.
You're right. Later, he becomes a human. You get it. I have the other way around.
He becomes a human boy in like these weird segments in which he got eaten or some shit.
Yes, and it's very strange.
By the Nurgle demon.
So, but Mandy Mandy was a little girl though, right?
Yeah, she was a little girl. She wasn't like a Nightmare Before Christmas stitched up Frankenstein doll girl.
Okay, so they have
they go to Halloween Town.
Thank you.
For Halloween.
There's so much shit that happens. I'm sorry. I try to keep it all straight. They go to Halloween Town, and Jack Skellington's like, "Yo, I'm bros with your dad, Grim." So Grim and Mandy are like married, and they're like rulers of the underworld. They rule the underworld is split into sections, and they live in like Grim, kind of Castle Grimrock from fucking He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So then they, it's not literally, but it basically is.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. So they're hanging out in Halloween Town because I don't know. So then they go to some kind of party, and
where else would you go for Halloween?
Where else would you go? Is it supposed to be Halloween at the time? I just thought they were going to a party.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Halloween.
Okay, understood.
And it was like, we're gonna have your first Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Come to Halloween Town.
That's why you're here. Somebody's gotta keep this shit straight. It's probably fresher in your mind because you read it more recently than I did.
Yeah, I think I read it more recently than you did. Like, I was just reading it like right before this stream started.
Yeah, I got you. So they get kind of let off from the party, right? And they go talk to Lock, Shock, and Barrel from Night Before Christmas, and or at least just Grim does, right? I don't think Mandy goes with them. Mini Mandy, sorry.
Yeah, Grim Jr. goes off with them, and I think Mini Mandy wants to come, but he's like, no, I hate you because I'm jealous of you because everyone likes you more talented than I am.
Yeah, you're more talented.
I play the trumpet, but it's shitty, and that's my character.
Yep. He's just a stupid, shitty little skeleton kid. Everybody hates him. Yeah. So he goes to hang out. He's like, my stupid sister's always good at everything, and I wish I was good at something. So he hangs out with Lock, Shock, and Barrel, and they find an old like picture. They find like a diary, right? Of like that belongs to Grim.
Yeah.
And there's pictures of fucking Mandy who was like in like sexy
Mandy
lingerie.
being all sexy, yeah.
And they're like, whoa, hubba hubba, and then Grim Jr.'s like, that's my mom, dude. And then, so this prompts them to read Grimm's diary to get backstory about why Grimm and Mandy are together. So we cut back to like a million years ago, back when they were, in the Adventures of Billy and Mandy, where Grimm, Mandy, the story, fucking, they're forced. He's forced to be Billy and Mandy's best friend. So for the longest time, they fucking hate each other, but every single time, Grimm realizes that, there's several moments where Mandy was supposed to die, but he didn't take her soul. He just let her keep living. Because I guess he gets slowly attached to her.
Yeah, because he likes her.
Yeah. Yes. So then he likes her as a little girl, because of course.
Yeah.
So we learn things like Mandy planning lots of different events, like the most famous
Wait.
Yeah,
wait.
Okay.
This happened during the episode while Mandy was the Grim Reaper for a day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an episode where
she wanted to have the most people die.
Yes. So she planned 9/11. She caused the World Trade Center attacks. But not just that, because everybody focuses. She also causes Katrina to happen. The Hurricane Katrina. She causes a couple like real life disasters.
Yep.
So Grimm was like, well, she already put them into motion. So even when she stopped being fucking on the Grim Reaper, it didn't matter. So they happened anyway.
And Mandy also has a big poster of Adolf Hitler in her bedroom.
She's just this little psycho. So at one point, she's like at a barbecue with everybody, and she's like, Grimm, I know you're not letting me die. I'm gonna kill. Grimm's like, what are you talking about? I hate you. Of course I'll kill you. And he's like, oh. She's like, all right. So she cuts her own like throat. But Grimm won't take her soul, so she keeps living. So she's like, "Fuck you, dude."
She's like, "I'm gonna use my new immortality powers to start the fucking Hitler Youth."
Yeah,
and
she hypnotizes every kid in like Ensville, in the town they live in, to be like part of her army. But eventually, she just loses interest, and she's like, "Grimm, I don't want you to be my friend anymore. Just go away. You're free from your contract."
She becomes the mayor.
Yeah, she becomes the mayor. She just like gains tons of power, and then but she's also like secretly a hitman. So she's good at like shooting. She's like fucking Agent 47.
Oh yeah, she's the mayor by day and a hitman by night.
Because of course.
Where she has like dual pistols and like wears a sexy outfit. Yeah. And runs around and kills people.
Yeah, she's like Mila Jovovich from like all those Justice movies.
Yeah.
So Grimm eventually comes to collect because he's like, you know what? I'm so sick of you, you big stupid. I'm gonna kill you. So she's like, all right, do it. And then he's like, will you marry me? And she's like, okay. Yeah. So they get married. Okay. And they have a honeymoon. That's where the sexy lingerie pictures come from. Of course.
And they have 2 children.
Yes. Grimm Jr.
Theoretically.
And Mandy.
And they get it by having real children and then aborting them.
Yes, they abort. They look for the souls of like kids who are being aborted and take them to be their kids because they can't actually have kids.
Yeah. They go to like there's a big sign at the hospital that says abortion room that way. Yeah,
because hospitals have that.
And another thing that happens is
this is why people campaign against abortion because they know that Mandy and the Grim Reaper are gonna take their kids. Not great, say.
You're right, Kaizen. Just Junior was aborted.
Yeah,
we'll get into Mandy later.
You're right,
Mini Mandy. Coop. Grimm goes to he's standing next to him while he eats like lots of fast food, and then he has a heart attack. So Coop dies from Mega 6LR.
Yeah, Coop's dead. So doesn't the Pumpkinator attack? But something else happens first, right?
Before Oogie Boogie comes out.
Yes,
because the Lock, Stock, and Barrel were like, we're just joking. We're not actually gonna let you into our gang. We're just getting you for Oogie Boogie because Oogie Boogie used to be friends with Grimm, and they used to do a gambling thing where they gambled souls. And then Grimm said no more, and then he's like, now I want the son of the Grim Reaper to do it or something.
Because of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and people ask me about Billy. Billy died and went to heaven. He's not really important in the story.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Billy doesn't ever show up. It doesn't matter.
He shows up briefly to show that he died. That's it.
Yeah. forgot what I was gonna say.
That's okay. Yes, so he kidnaps Grim Jr., and then does that prompt Mini Mandy to go in, or does the robot?
Yeah, Mini Mandy comes in to try to help him, and then the robot comes out. I think.
Yes. So they defeat Oogie Boogie kind of, but then like the robot Pumpkinator from the one like Fairly Odd Parents Halloween special shows up and attacks like Halloween Town. So then Grim and Mandy and Mandy's friend Lord Payne, who's I was like, well, you remember the lore from the show. Lord Payne was just in one episode where there was like a weird underworld minion guy who was indentured to Mandy. So in this comic,
because they have their own like underworld army.
Yes, exactly.
Because they are the leaders of one of the lands of the underworld.
Yeah, one of the 4.
Where the Castle Grimskull is.
Yes, exactly. So, and then Danny Phantom shows up. But evil Danny Phantom from the Ultimate Enemy movie special thing. Because of course. Anyway, so this robot thing attacks Mini Mandy and Grim Jr.
And like cuts her in half.
Yeah, it cuts her in half. So it's just Junior
fucking dying on the floor.
Yeah, so Mini Mandy's dying and Junior, and she's like missing an arm too. And Junior is just like, fuck, I just have my bisected sister. So they
So something about Mini Mandy is that she had demon Nurgle power.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because they would hang out with Uncle Nurgle.
They would hang out with Uncle Nurgle, who Grim Jr. loved. He was like his godfather, Uncle Nurgle, Nurgle Jr.
Yes.
He has like a big giant pompadour that sticks out.
Yeah, like
10
a big
feet.
animated like bubble.
Yeah, and he loved his Uncle Nurgle, but then when Mini Mandy was born, he would just hang out with her and like do stuff with her. And he's like, what's the deal? Why is Nurgle Jr. do that? Why do you do that?
And it made him really sad. So that's why he has deep-seated hatred for her. So when does she give him the eye?
When she's dying.
Okay,
she just pulls out her eye, right?
She pulls out her eye to give him the Nurgle powers, but she can't use them anymore because he's dying. So she's like, you need to defend yourself. So they're stuck inside the Pumpkinator robot because it ate them. So they're just sitting in there and they're like, shit, what do we do?
And like a manifestation of Nurgle shows up to explain the Nurgle powers to Grim Jr.
So the Nurgle powers are like a symbiote, like Venom, kind of?
Yeah, it's basically that, yeah. And he's like, good thing she gave you the right eye, because if she gave you the left eye, that's a mating ritual for Nurgles. Haha. and that'll come into play later on. But
more than you know. Yeah. So he has Nurgle powers, and he manages to like the Pumpkinator robot's being attacked by Danny Phantom, who's like mostly defeating it.
The Danny Phantom Time Lord Ghost came in, and he's like, we need the most powerful guy to fight Pumpkinator robot, who's also combined with Nurgle powers. We need evil Danny Phantom from the Danny Phantom movie.
And then evil Danny Phantom shows up. He's like, hey. So he makes a really silly face and then beats up the robot. So then, but then Grim Jr. busts out using the Nurgle powers, and he's like, here I am, bros.
But before that, he's like in like a snowy wasteland, right?
Yes, it's like a weird mental hellscape. I don't really get it.
He's in like a mental hellscape type place where he meets like Jeff the Spider and Bible Man.
Yes.
And
he sure does. No, it's like an angel.
Yes, it's an angel with like a big like cross. Some angel superhero type guy.
Yes.
And
who is he? Just made for that comic, or is he from somewhere?
I think he's from something, but I just call him Bible Man because I don't know what he's from.
I couldn't tell you either. Yeah.
So he wants to take Mini Mandy's soul to heaven because she was a nice little girl, and he's like, "No, you can't take my sister." And so they're in like the snowy wasteland. And Jeff the Spider talks to him and is like, come live in my cave where I'll show you where Mini Mandy's soul is, because her soul has been taken by him from Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, him the bad guy. Yeah.
One of the underworld places.
He's one of the underworld leaders, and he has cool shades.
Yeah, for some reason, him isn't like a drag queen anymore. He's
No.
like a really like heterosexual man.
He's a
with
pimp,
just
literally.
a beard. Yeah, he's a pimp. And uh, so they try to get Mini Mandy back from him. And I guess they do. I don't remember how.
I'm pretty sure they just like trick. Don't they trick him somehow?
They probably they do something, but they get Mini Mandy back, and she comes out of the Pumpkinator with Grimm Jr. as like a ghost. And then Danny Phantom beats the Pumpkinator.
Is it revealed there that she's in love with him?
Yes, it is, because like she's under like demon control, and she's like, "Oh, I love you, brother. I want to fuck you."
Yes, she like starts hitting on him and like rubbing all against him.
Like this. But yeah, it turns out Minnie just wants to incest her brother.
Yes,
all the time.
Yes, seriously, she's genuinely just in love with him, and this plays into the plot in a very heavy way.
Yes, this is still flashback.
Yes, it's all flashback, by the way. Still, it's really because there's flashbacks within flashbacks at a certain point. So it's still going, and fucking make it
like the main timeline doesn't even matter. It's just like a way to set up the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole thing with Spawn, it's never really like they never really do anything with that. No. It's just like it happens, and then it's never acknowledged again.
No. It's acknowledged when it turns back to the present, but he's just kind of just like, oh, okay, and leaves.
Yeah, okay. Really, and they leave at a cliffhanger where they fight a bunch of like demons.
Yeah,
but they never explain what happened with that. It's just it happened.
Yeah. So anyway,
they fight a bunch of demons and they win, I guess.
Yes. So Grimm Jr. is a skeleton with one eye now, and Mini Mandy is stitched back together as like a little Frankenstein lady. And that's what you see.
Yeah, she was built by the person. The doctor from Halloween Town that built Susie.
Yeah, exactly.
He made her body. Yes.
He does have social media accounts, I'm pretty sure. I know he's a DeviantArt that he still updates.
Yep. He regularly uses his DeviantArt.
Which I guess makes sense. It's kind of weird. It's a stomping grounds, pretty much. So, yeah, they're all... So he's just kind of like, well, now I no longer hate my sister, but it's awkward because she's in love with me, so that's weird. Anyway, cool. I got a cool Nurgle symbiote buddy now, who's my friend, and he like talks to the Nurgle symbiote buddy, who's like sassy, kind of like Rocket Raccoon. He's like, stupid kid, asshole, and he's like, that's not very nice. So then, meanwhile, Jeff the Spider, did we introduce like mini him, like girl him? Yeah. Yeah, I think that did happen while they were rescuing Minnie. They meted Mimi. Yeah, they met a mini him, like him's daughter, called Mimi, and I remember how they escape. It's because Jeff helps them.
Yeah, Jeff helps them. Jeff and Mimi help them escape.
So him punishes them by removing like Mimi's hands.
Jeff's head.
Yeah, and Jeff's head keeps in a cage. So Mimi...
no, Mimi had her hands removed like a long time
ago. Oh, yeah, right. She just has claws when she's in a little demon form. That's correct. So
because she
was a human.
We'll explain her backstory maybe later, I guess.
So there's a character called Mimi who's like a little girl, because of course she is, with black hair.
Who's him's daughter.
Yes. Kind of forced adopted daughter. So,
but also his real daughter.
Yes.
I think.
Sort of. It's really poorly explained. And
it's like never really explained how she came about.
Yeah.
But
wow. So yeah.
So then.
Sorry, keep going.
I don't know. It's just a really confusing web of story.
Because this is like the worst.
We don't know where we even are.
Between the two of them, this is the way worse because there's like 50 things happening and there's constantly flashbacks. And there's tons of text. Like there's constantly every panel is full of like at least 3-word balloons. So
Spawn is just listening to this shit.
Yes. Now Spawn is okay. So we're in the present fully now, and Spawn is not here anymore. Spawn is gone. We don't see what happened to Spawn. He never shows back up. So then Junior and Mini Mandy are fucked up now. They're living in the castle with their parents.
Castle Grimrock.
Yes, from He-Man. So it is shown that Mandy that Grimm is being cucked by Mandy with evil Danny Phantom.
Yeah, she saw him defeat the Pumpkinator, and she's like, I want to fuck that because he's so powerful.
Yes.
So she fucks evil Danny Phantom, and he's like, I really want a ghost son. I hope you'll give me one. And she's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Whatever. You're okay, I guess. And then Grimm, Grimm, just to be clear, Grimm is fully aware that this is happening. It's not like,
oh yeah,
yes.
We forgot to bring up that Nurgle Jr. is Mini Mandy's father.
Yes.
Yes, he fucked Mandy.
Yes.
And he's Mini Mandy's father.
Yes, and Grimm is also aware of this too. Yeah. Grimm is just used to Mandy cheating on him constantly. I guess
yeah, Mini Mandy is a great name. Pang.
Dora the Explorer Dora the Explorer shows up briefly in the backstory where they show that Mandy has indoctrinated the Hitler Youth. I don't think she does anything else though.
Yeah, she was just in her like Hitler Youth.
Yeah. So Grimm cannot fuck. Yes. Can't. So Mandy just fucks
have like
a
penis bone, so she fucks other guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as punishment for the Junior and Mini Mandy escaping, him sends Mimi, his old demon daughter, to sneak into to Grimm and Mandy's castle to steal something. We're not told really what it is. No, they want the sword. Yeah, they want Samurai Jack's sword, who they own now, because I guess he's dead.
Because it's like the only thing that can kill Aku, who's also one of the leaders of Hell.
Yeah, so Aku is the other leader of of his section of, it's like just called like Aku City, of his section of the underworld. And there's like 4 sections. There's Castle Grimrock. There's the Ghost Zone, which is being maintained by the Warden, who's like the son of the previous Warden from Danny Phantom. And there's Aku City, and then there's Him's Domain, which is, I forget what it is.
And there's Adventure Time World.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What's that called?
I don't recall if it has a name. I think it's called like
the Night World.
The Night Zone or something.
Night. There was some like Adventure Time special named after it. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't watch Adventure Time.
Yeah, I don't recall. But I know that Marceline's dad is like somewhat in charge of it, along with him.
Yeah.
The Nightosphere.
Nightosphere. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, the Nightosphere is him and Aberdeen, Hudson Aberdeen, I think is his name. How did I remember that? Not the Nightosphere. Is this father of Marceline, and it's their domain.
Yeah.
So I guess they just rule together.
No, they have separate ones.
Oh yeah,
Him's is called like Land of like Tainted Souls or something.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you're right. I was confused because there's a panel where they meet each other and they seem like they're working together, but it's not really. It's really like not clear.
They have a meeting where Aberdeen says that he should have a birthday party for Mimi, where they should have male strippers.
And Mimi is, to be clear, is a little
party
girl.
For Mimi, and they do the Harlem Shake.
Yes, they do. Yeah, it's bad. So anyway, Mimi is snuck into this castle. Yeah, this comic is long. Anyway, Mimi has snuck into the castle to steal Samurai Jack's sword, but she's found out by Lord Payne, and Mandy and everybody else intervenes. So what happens? So her essence is released, right? I forget how though. Hello? Uh-oh. Blake? Can you guys still hear me? Just never back into it. Blake, no! It was too much for him. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. What happened? Not Blake? Yeah, I don't hear him either. He's just gone. Give me a sec. Hello? Hello? Leave this in. I wouldn't dream of leaving it out. Sorry, my computer is dying, he says. I don't know why. What? Fuck! He's still in the call, but it says his computer melted, so I think that he has to, like, reset. He'll be right back then. I guess I'll wait for him. Alright, God. There's a lot to unpack. I'm sorry if we're sounding like a little confused. It's really because there's so much shit like in the comic. I have notes too. It still isn't really enough to keep it all together. God, it's such a pain. Give us time to come back. I have read. We have both caught up. Yes. Yeah, we've both caught up, I'm pretty sure. He's still updated, of course, so, we're not fully done. When will this comic end? That's the problem, is that there's no end game in sight. I don't know what the hell, what the end of either of these comics would be. I guess with the Powerpuff Girls ones, the Powerpuff Girl one, they would fight the Dr. X guy and finally defeat him. Because they haven't fought him yet, as far as I know. So.
Okay, where were we?
Okay, yeah, thank you. There you go. Everything okay?
My computer froze, I don't know why.
Alright. The future, the smell of future coming. There's a smell of future? Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, the point is. So she tries to steal the sword, the Mimi. Samurai Jack's sword, which is being kept in, like, a room with a bunch of, like, other things, artifacts they have. Mm-hmm. So, she stopped, but remind me, why did she, like, lose her evil essence? Is she stabbed or something by the sword?
Yeah, I think they stab her with the sword.
Yeah, okay.
Or something.
So
they lock up her evil essence, and she turns into like a normal human that has no hands.
The sword absorbs the evil essence, so that means you can use it to kill like anybody now. Mm-hmm. Because the whole thing about the sword is that it only can harm evil things. Mm-hmm. So so Mandy's like, sweet, I have this cool sword now. Also, I'm gonna kill him because he sent his little minion to like invade my castle, so I'm gonna consider that an act of war. So Grimm is
Did you explain Mimi's backstory?
Because that's where we're getting to that. Because it's explained after this. I just waited for you to come back.
Okay.
I forget. Okay, so Junior's like, we gotta keep the Mimi. She tries to keep Mimi safe because Mandy's like,
they want to kill Mimi.
Yeah,
but Mandy he's like, I want to keep her.
So like, Mandy beats him up.
Yeah, Mandy like fucking beats the shit out of Junior. She slaps him around. And then she's like, fine, keep her as the pet.
Yeah, whatever. So then she's like, I'm gonna go start a war, see ya. She leaves, and then it's just Mandy. It's just Mini Mandy, and Mini Mandy's like, fuck you, brother, I'm out of here. So then she's
jealous.
Yeah,
because
she's jealous
cares
of
about Mimi.
Yeah, so she's like, I'm in love with you, you should care about me. But she didn't say anything, so she just kind of leaves him alone. So Mimi becomes like Junior's friend now, but kind of. She just kind of stays under his bed and eats snacks sometimes. That's it.
And she bites him and shit.
Yeah,
she pushes him over and she just abuses him.
Yeah, she's still mean to him, but I guess she gets.
Thing about Mimi is that she's like really autistic.
Yeah,
she doesn't talk, and she just does a bunch of like awful shit.
She also has no hands because.
She has no hands. She's a double amputee.
Yeah, because but when she was like a little hen demon, she had like claws. But they're removed because she lost her hands as a human, so she lost all her dark essence because the Samurai Jack sword absorbed it. So she goes back to being just a normal little girl with no hands. So we learn of the backstory of why she's a normal little girl with no hands. So a long time ago, there was a world of heroes, and all like the Powerpuff Girl characters, like Dexter's Lab and the Powerpuff Girls. All these different
Megaville.
In Megaville, they fought. They fought the good fight and fought all the bad guys. But eventually, they're all defeated by him, and the Earth is like destroyed. It's like a wasteland. So the only ones left are like Blossom, like Raven from Teen Titans.
It's Underfist.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Except General Scar and Fred Fredberger are replaced by Raven from Teen Titans.
That's right.
And Blossom, sort of.
Blossom kind of helps. All right, see you, Lola. So they're all hanging out, and also the general. So Dexter. Before this, Dexter is like getting a brief in the situation from fucking general nonsense from the general dude from Sheep in the Big City. He's just like, what the fuck?
And he's explaining to him that Mimi has a superpower, that she's Minority Report, but she can predict crimes by superpowered individuals.
Yes. So they do their best to like keep Mimi happy and like live and give her treats and stuff. So she's like. You guys, but the only person she really gets attached to is like Blossom and kind of Raven. So
because Blossom
yes.
is her mother.
Yes, that's the twist.
Yeah, it's the twist. And so I don't know if she fucked him or something.
Yeah,
somehow.
I guess she fucked him. It's never made clear ever, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So this music is swelling in a really funny way. So Blossom and everybody makes their final stand against him, but they're all defeated and they're all dead now. And then, so the last survivor,
like he just murders like Erwin and everything.
Yeah, he kills Erwin. He kills off Underfist. He murders Blossom. Blossom and Raven make some last stand, but I guess they die.
It was Raven and Haas Delgado. Yeah, they tried to they took him and Haas Delgado had a bomb or some shit strapped to him. I don't know, and Raven did her force field thing around all of them, and they went into the middle of the ocean and blew up. Yeah. But that didn't kill him. Yeah, it just killed Raven and Haas.
So they're gone.
Yeah.
So then him is like, I'll just take this little girl then. So he takes back his daughter, Mimi. It's like, we're going to live in the underworld now.
He forces her to kill Blossom.
Yes.
And then he cuts off her hand.
Yes, he cuts off her hand just to
give her claws.
Yes, that's how it works, I guess. So he turns into a little demon, and she gets a weird gem in her head, and she has claws now. And so she
gets the gem in her head because she wanted a gem like Raven had in her head.
Thank you.
So Raven gave her some little metal thing, which Mimi singed with fire and melted onto her head, and she moaned because she feels pleasure from pain. So she moans and she gets she makes a sexy anime face.
Yep. And she hangs out with Jeff the Spider, I guess.
And she hangs out with Jeff the Spider because he helped raise her.
Yes.
So he's still raising her.
Yes, but then we cut to the present, and Jeff is just a little head in a jar, a cage jar.
Because as the punishment, him cut off his head for saving Grimm Jr. and Minnie Mandy.
Previously, yes.
Yeah.
So they. Oh my god, this is such. My brain hurts.
Yeah, it's good.
So Mimi is Junior's pet. So meanwhile, him knows that Mandy is going to probably want to start some shit. So he goes to form alliances with Aku, and Aku.
Aku is gender fluid now.
Yes, he switches between what's the girl's name?
Between the girl Aku from the first season of Samurai Jack.
Yeah, the green lady that he tricks Jack with, to just normal Aku, and she
and they change his pronouns depending on which he is, from father to mother and he to she.
Yes, and she hits on in that form she hits on him, and they're having sexual tension.
And he's like, "Why can't I be your queen?"
He's like, "Cause bros," because he literally says, "Bros don't fuck each other." And I was like, "Oh my god."
And Aku has his own daughter.
Yes, named
Chi.
Huh?
Chi.
Thank you. God, those names are so generic. Yeah, her name is Chi. And she's in love with Mimi and has a relationship.
She's all Yuri with her.
Yes, they have really annoying.
She's a yandere.
Yes.
And she's worried about Mimi because she hasn't texted in a long time because she can't talk.
Yes. So she had the text, but she doesn't know. But Aku's daughter, is not aware that she's basically being held hostage in Castle Grimrock. So she's like, I need to go find him. But also, in Aku City is a pop star and a model. She's
an idol.
Yeah, she's I guess yeah, she is.
Yeah, and how she met Mimi was that Mimi went to one of her idol concerts.
Yes.
And she saved her from being kidnapped by a Danny Phantom ghost guy.
Yeah.
And Mimi saved her, and now then she fell in love with her.
Yeah, exactly. So then, it's great. It's not creepy at all. They go and so they have she constantly just badgers her and wants to be with her. To Mimi.
And Chi has her personal assistant is the Mongo's floating head.
Yes, who was because I guess he was defeated by Jack, so he just became a weaker demon, and it's just a slave to Chi. She just does everything she says.
He's a little wisecracking sidekick. He's
exactly.
Oh, Ms. Chi, you can't be doing that. He's a little C-3PO.
Yeah, pretty much. Type guy. Pretty much, honestly.
Yeah.
So Chi and so she's like,
Chiako.
Yeah, Chiako.
Yeah.
So she's like, come with me, Demongo. We're gonna go find We're gonna go find Mimi. I know where she goes. So she goes to do that. So she goes on like her own little adventure through to get to the ghost zone because she needs to get to the ghost zone to get over.
Yeah, but first off, to find out that Mimi was captured, she like sends Demongo. She fires Demongo in a cannon to Him's world and finds out Mimi's gone.
Yes.
And she like travels through her like fucking phone and as a cat.
Yes, she like sends her essence through the phone and the representation.
Yeah, she figures out how to like clone herself.
Yes, because I guess Aku could do that too.
So while she's going on her adventure to find Mimi, she has a clone of herself that pretends she's still there, and she makes all the staff at the castle, Aku's like staff, put on Gangnam Style, dance for her.
They literally do that. Yes, he's not joking. They legitimately do Gangnam Style.
And they do a play of Disney's Frozen where she's Elsa.
Yep. You can tell when this came out. Anyway, that's the thing about Bleedman comics. They're always insanely, like, you always know what year they came out in because they're always as topical as possible. And it's really obnoxious. So anyway, so she is like, okay, I know the situation now. So she leaves like a duplicate Chi, like he said, to like to trick everybody and things so nobody knows that she's gone. So she sneaks off and heads off to like this kind of border area where the ghost zone is to get inside. So she goes into like a bar and she's kind of just chilling out there with a bunch of like OC characters, but also Ben 10 characters are there too.
Yeah, she meets Ben 10 bounty hunters.
Yeah,
who say that they'll take her to the ghost zone.
Yeah, isn't one of them Kevin Levin?
Yeah, one of them's Kevin, and she's like, Kevin, you're like the Kevin from Home Alone, and they make fun of him. Yeah, and they call them the Wet Bandits and stuff.
Yeah, it's really weird and not funny. So the warden from the ghost zone shows up. It's like, I heard we got some bubble blowing babies in here, and I hope nobody tries to sneak into the ghost zones. So they have to kind of lie low. But then suddenly Danny Phantom shows up, and he's like...
But first, she meets an OC made by someone on DeviantArt who reminds her of Mimi.
Yes.
Named Jewel.
It's a little red demon who works at the bar that they're at.
In like a little maid outfit.
Because of course.
Then Danny Phantom shows up.
Yeah. No, not even just that she's a maid outfit. They have the barkeep has her like, hey, I know that I could tell that she's gay. Go over and like schmooze her. And I was like, that's...
Yeah, he says, make sure you'll do anything she wants.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
Even means fucking her.
And she's like, oh, okay, I guess. And then Danny Phantom shows up and he's like, hey, let's fight everybody. And then everyone's like, let's get him. So they all have a big...
And then he fights Sonichu.
Yes, and Powder Toast Man.
And Powder Toast Man and RPG.
Yes.
Cuphead.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is the best fucking music. I love this song. It's so perfect. Yeah, so this is all happening. Meanwhile, she is like, I gotta get out of here and sneak through the ruckus. So she tries to head to the ghost zone. So, meanwhile,
while this is happening, they all the leaders of like the underworld places are like going to a big meeting set up by the Council of the Old Ones.
Kind of broker peace, sort of.
Which is literally like fucking H.P. Lovecraft, Old One gods.
Yeah, literally.
Cthulhu and people.
They're like Cthulhu and shit.
Yeah. And so that's why they're gone and they're not like checking up on them.
So Mini Mandy is essentially left in charge, and the security systems in the castle are turned on. So Grim and Mandy, peace out. They're like, you guys don't cause too much trouble. So
and Mini Mandy hates Grim Jr. now because he's taking care of Mimi.
Yes, and
she's trying to like murder the two of them with the castle traps.
Yeah, she acts with like the traps and tries to kill both Mimi and Grim Jr. So Grim Jr. is like, I need to have like the only way I'm gonna have to like speak to her is to agree to this stupid duel. So they want to have a duel with each other.
And the Nurgle parasite is like, there's something you don't know about Mini Mandy. She's not a sweet little girl. She's evil like Mandy, and she mistreated me when I was her parasite, and that's why I went all evil and possessed the Pumpkinator and shit. And I like you better because you're nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Mimi is like hiding off somewhere, and then
and she rides her hoverboard around the castle.
Yeah, because she just has one. It's not really said where she gets it from. Anyway, I guess it's Grim had it. Grim Jr. had it. So then Junior. So before Mandy leaves, Mandy like is aware that Mini Mandy hates Grim Jr. and wants to like fight him essentially. Mm-hmm. So she's like, Mandy's like basically coaching her, like, yeah, you know what? If you guys want to have a duel, just do it. It'll be sick. So
so she tells all like the guards and stuff to not interfere.
Yeah, if they have a fight. So they fight, and they have this stupid anime battle where Grim Jr.'s like, I don't want to hurt you, but he turns into like a tank and shit, because the Nurgle guy's like, well, I don't want to die either, so I'm going to protect you.
Oh, and before this, Grim reveals his father's backstory.
Right? Yes, that's right.
Where his father is like an anime boy that became the top Grim Reaper of them all.
So the funny thing about Bleedman, so here's what I'm talking about. Like, Bleedman would be like so like anal out of like putting in like stuff from the cartoons. So something about that show is that you do see Grimm's dad. He's just like a fucking like, the joke was that he's like a sitcom dad. He's like a shitty like boring father. And that was like the funny thing. But then in the Bleedman world, he's like a sick ass like Hot Topic anime dude, and like he looks like a fucking Disturbed t-shirt like a skater would wear. And I was like, what? And like, yeah, he had this council of like Grim Reapers that like existed across the universe, and they have like this battle with like, who was it again? Like
the life givers.
Yes, like creatures who give life across the universe, and they win. The Grim Reapers do, but then they're like, we kind of fucked up. So
yeah,
in doing that, so they're like, well, shit.
So Grimm's dad is like counseling Grim Jr. while he's in this fight.
Yes.
Because the Nurgle parasite is just doing all the fighting while like Grim is like, he's like kind of in his own mind, and like the Nurgle parasite is taking care of him as like a sexy nurse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, the reason why Grim tells the story previously is because he's telling it to Mandy, but it's also meant to like, kind of explain what's happening back at the castle. He's telling us the way like, let's not have a war, because even if we win, it's not worth it if we do it. But then Mandy's like, fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway, so whatever. So anyway, back at the castle. So I think you read further than I did, because this is where I caught up.
This is also where I got off, because up to this point, like the last page I read is that they're in this big fight.
Yes.
And then Grim Jr. comes out and he's like super powered, and he looks like Mandy did before. He's like a little anime girl.
Yes.
Like Mini Mandy did before, in like a dress, and has a little sword.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's about as far as I read.
That's where I left off too. So they have a fight, and she manages to like overpower Mini Mandy. But then Mini Mandy, like, she's like, well, let's just call it a draw. We don't have to finish this. And then Mini Mandy's like takes advantage of that and like stabs him. So he reverts back to normal, and he's like dying now. And then that's where I guess that's where we left off.
What do you mean by how long was all this?
How long it took to read? It's shorter technically than PPGD, but it's like wordier, so it's kind of
it's not always fun to read.
No, it's insanely like the paragraphs that get insanely long. So that's essentially the story so far. The problem with both these comics is that they're still going, so I can't give a conclusive statement on like any of the stories other than they're bad.
Also, we talked about this before, but there's a ton of panty shots of all the little girls.
Yeah, this is the worst one in terms of like the creep the creep factor.
Yeah, this is the worst one. There's a lot of them like where they're half naked. When they were fighting like the Nurgle parasite at the beginning, Mini Mandy gets like caught up in like the tentacles and stuff in like a sexy pose a few times.
Yep. There's moments where Mandy is shown like to wear something skimpy because I don't know they caught her when she was asleep or something.
There's a joke page where Junior goes to like Mini Mandy's room, and he opens the door and she's like all sexy and adult like Mandy, but with like the same like head and like body as Mini Mandy in the same clothes.
Yes.
And she like presses his like head against her tits and stuff.
Yep.
Great.
And he also noticed that his mom has very big breasts, and they constantly allude to both Mini Mandy and him. They both like blush and allude to it constantly.
They talk about how sexy the mom is.
Yeah, so Mandy. I mean.
There's a thing where they see like the mom like half naked, like her big titties, and like Mini Mandy's like touching her own chest. She's like, "Oh, my boobs aren't as big as my mom."
It makes you very comfortable to see that. I don't know. It's just like.
And Junior had to bathe Mimi and like with her naked and stuff, and like dry her off and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and give her like a gothic Lolita outfit. To
Yeah,
wear
he couldn't
afterwards.
just give her something normal. He has to give like the most sexual thing possible.
No, the two outfits that Mandy gave him
yeah.
that she had from her childhood was like the classic like Home Adventure Mandy outfit and a gothic dress. Lolita purple dress.
Yeah, of course it's the one they go with, and it's like, alright, cool. I mean, not that the pink one would have been much better, but at least it would have been less obvious. So yeah, he just doesn't care. So something I noticed about PPGD is that while there's there's still panty shots. He kind of lessens them over time, and he does things like he puts them in shadow, I guess. So it's like, I guess because people complained a lot, so I guess he felt he changed it. But when it comes to, I guess for Grim Tales, he doesn't care. So.
And Grim Tales, there's a Christmas comic about the emoji furries from Samurai Jack, and And the girl one becomes like a sexy maid at the restaurant that Jewel works.
Yep.
And the Scotsman like fucking spits out his drink and he's like, "You're dressed like a harlot." It's great. And there is a Slender Tail comic during Halloween.
Yeah, there's an Undertale / Slender reference, which is really weird because I guess at the time Undertale was topical, but Slender definitely wasn't. So I don't know why he did that.
Yeah. Undertale and Slenderman crossover Halloween comic.
And it's bad.
Where Slenderman lives in the Undertale world and like Frisk makes friends with Slenderman, and then Kara like murders him in Sans and they die. That's the comic.
There's a similar sort of crossover type thing in PPGD that's like an April Fool's thing. It's not canon, I guess. Where Rick and Morty show up. And it's like 7 pages of just Rick and Morty. And the weird thing about it is that they're kind of drawn like on model. Like, I mean, they're still kind of colored like...
They're on model, but everyone else is anime.
Yeah, so it's really weird and strange. And I don't... Something that happens increasingly over time with the PPGD stuff is that he just kind of gives up on making anime versions of a lot of characters. When he brings in a character that hasn't been in something before, they usually just look like how they look in the show. So.
Yeah, that's usually would be easier.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. It's really weird. I guess he just stopped caring.
And the Rick and Morty one is Dr. X. He makes a bomb that destroys all the alcohol on Earth, and Rick's like, no more beer, and he's like, we got to go to Beer Planet, and that's the joke.
Yeah, it's like funny.
Yeah.
It's written by someone who very clearly does watch Rick and Morty and find it hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. There is a Zim comic, which is I didn't really want to get into too much. I did read it.
Yeah.
It's really,
I did not read the Zim comics, so I would have no idea what happened.
It's very short and incomplete. So as I mentioned at the beginning, it was drawn by somebody else.
Yeah.
And written by somebody else, I believe too. But then they only did 4 pages of it before just giving up. So it was just on hiatus for like 5 years until suddenly Bleedman took back over. No, it was more than that. It was like 2007, and then I think it took back over in like 2016. So that's like 9 years later. So this music. So so Bleedman took over it and just started drawing it and writing it, and he turns it into like a weird. It's just like it just starts like a weird Zim, I guess, because like Tak was still a character at the time, so Tak is like there, and she's like, Dib, I need you to do something. I'm gonna take you back to my lab. She like kidnaps Dib and Gaz and like tases them and puts them like in a virtual reality thing where she puts them in different video games, and one of them is like a dating sim because of course it is. And they date in the game, and I'm like, great. So then
and they go to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. What's worse, the actual official Green Invader Sim comics version of that? Yeah, there's no incest in that, so it's better by default. Anyway,
I guess.
Yeah. So for some reason, suddenly we skip later. And they're out of the simulation, but everybody on Earth has been turned into like mutants now, and it's not clear why. They're like alien xenomorphs now, and the only one left is Dib, and Zim is killed, and so is Tak. So Dib is like Gaz is killed, and both Gaz and Zim are gone. So then, and Gas turns into a mutant thing, like a carcass does. So then, Dib and Tack and they forgot what's going on, but then it just ends. So, and it was said to be canceled.
The end.
Yeah, it was said to be canceled. So I was like, oh, okay.
And Elongated, the pseudonym, you're right, he did unthick Dexter's mom.
He did.
Because all the girls he draws are either like lollies or like
rail
thin, like supermodel, like big titty anime girls.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not like big hips and shit. Yeah. Bad. Why doesn't he cater to my tastes?
Exactly. No, it's a mess. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that's Bleedman.
That's Bleedman. That's essentially it. So they're still going. The comments on the websites are really funny. So there is a comment section that people still use. Like they're very clearly kids.
I was reading one. There's like lots of arguments on like whenever that.
Oh my god! I think I know which
Jewel shows up.
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yes.
Whenever she shows up, people are like, "Oh, I hate Jewel so much. She shouldn't be in this comic." And then like the person who created her shows up, and they're like, "That's so rude. Don't say that, you fucking asshole." And they get into a big long argument about how awful like Jewel is and how that's like mean to say and stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic.
Because it's just like some like girl's character from DeviantArt.
Yes.
That he decided to have a big role in his comic, Bleedman.
God.
For whatever reason.
I'm gonna read my favorite thread. I read this in the previous stream, but I just want to bring it back because it's great. I don't know if you saw it. It's on one of the last pages posted, I think, from the PPGD comic. So it's just I was curious because like, there's comments. I should actually read these. So we start up. We start with this guy. This is from June of this year. This is a guy named Al Nightmare, and he's like, "Remember, Brick." Sorry, let me just go down because the threading on these are really poor. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So there's a guy named Prince Cerberus, and he says, "So if this is a prequel to Grim Tales, then it's really messed up what happens to Blossom. And I wonder if we're really actually going to see that failure in horror at the end of the series." And then somebody named Shadow Knight Destroyer responds to him, because of course.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, there's another commenter that's unrelated to his name, like Kingdom Hearts Darkness, so you can tell who's reading this shit.
Yeah.
Shadow Knight Destroyer says, "If this was a prequel, I would actually like to get into the story." And then Shiny Wolf shows up and says, "PPGD is not GT's prequel," referring to Grim Tales. "Both comics are set in parallel universes, with Grim Tales being the bad end in a certain sense." Shadow Knight Destroyer says, "Why are you telling me that?" Shiny Wolf says, "Oh, I meant to reply to Prince Erebus. I must have hit the wrong reply button." And then Al Nightmare jumps in. "No, you hit the right reply button, actually. Look at how your comment is positioned." Shadow Knight says, "Not really. I never once thought that PPGD was a prequel. I said that if it was, I would get into it. So nope, nice try." "What the heck are you talking about?" says Al Nightmare. "What the heck are you talking about?" says Shadow Knight Destroyer. Shiny Wolf clicked the wrong reply. This is Al Nightmare. Shiny Wolf clicked the wrong reply button, and I was assuring him that he clicked the right reply button due to how his reply was positioned. "What the heck are you talking about?" No. Shiny Wolf told me he replied to the wrong person, and before you go and say, "No, he hit the right reply button," which doesn't make any sense, as I just gave a reason as to why it's not true, which is me never saying that PPGD being a prequel. What the fuck are you talking about? Then Al Nightmare says, "Well, now I don't have an option to reply to you. I guess I'll have to reply to myself." Look, by the way, this is over a week, because they finished commenting on July 5th. And this began June 29th. "Look at how the first reply was positioned. It's under your comment, meaning it's replying to the original comment and not to you. Yet you answered," which led him to say he replied to the original wrong comment, which is not true. "What the heck are you talking about?" And then Shadow Knight Destroyer, with the fire in his eyes, he says, "Don't you know why you had to make 4 comments? Anyways, that's what we were talking about. Now I believe there was confusion on both their ends as to why about that comment position part, as I don't use snafu to have conversations in. I misinterpreted what you said when you made the first comment." In quotes, "No, you hit the wrong reply button. No, you hit the right reply button, actually. Look at how the comment's positioned." End quote. "When you said that he well wrote it, He took it as to saying his reply is meant for the prince and could be used for my reply, which I found to be confusing. You explaining what that meant cleared up that confusion right up. Okay, glad we finally got that figured out what the heck we were talking about. Agreed. We confuse the shit out of each other. LOL! And then it ends.
This is making me think of that like bodybuilding forum.
Yeah, where they're arguing over like how many days are in a week or some shit.
Yeah.
I love that video so much.
Something I should bring up is that there's a fan theory that Grim Jr.'s real dad is Timmy Turner.
Oh my god, because of the hair?
Yeah, because of the hair.
I believe it. So I did look. I was wondering, like, what are the fan communities like for this fucking thing? Mm-hmm. So I looked around for like a Discord. I was like, do they have an official Discord? So the site links to an unofficial Discord is what they call it. So I went into it, and I was curious, and it sadly is not very interesting. It was just like a bunch of people. It's mostly just like, I presume are children, just sitting around talking about nothing. Yeah. And not very much discussion on the actual comics. I just left. But
damn,
I was very sad.
You needed someone to discuss the comic about.
Apparently. I was disappointed. I was like, I want to talk about.
You should make the official Discord for only on-topic discussion.
Only on topic. And roleplay. There was a roleplay section, which I went into, and nobody had said anything for several months. So,
damn,
not very. The roleplay wasn't even in the area. Actually, they would link to other like places where you would have the discussion, but they were all expired links. So I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else? I think. Or is that about it?
I don't know. I think we've probably talked about everything other than like cameos.
What was your favorite cameo?
There's Angry Video Game Nerds.
I almost died. I was drinking. Yes, Angry Video Game Nerd does show up.
There was the thing where they were like listing the 7 sins, and like under Wrath it was the Angry Video Game Nerd, and like Greed was Mr. Krabs, and for some reason Sloth was Squidward.
Which makes no sense. I mean, I guess because he's lazy sometimes, but I was like, why wouldn't you make it like...
Sometimes, yeah, but that's like only for an excuse for like SpongeBob to bother him.
Yeah, why not Pride or something?
He's
or like
usually
Patrick
like painting and bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's still doing stuff. It's really weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good.
So when you're don't abort your kids because Grim and Mandy will sue them.
Grim will adopt them and raise them as his own.
I'm confused. Do they abort the kids themselves, or they just happen to like abortions are happening and they happen to just take the kid?
I don't know. They never really explained that. But I think the only one who was aborted was Grim Jr. because he's a skeleton boy.
Yeah.
And like Mandy was like an actual like Nurgle's child.
Mm.
Theoretically, they might have a third child from Danny Phantom.
Yep. There will be a new child who's a green ghost boy or girl.
New ghost baby.
So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad, as you would imagine.
Yes, I imagine.
Okay. All right. Well, Blake, thanks a bunch for trying to keep this straight. I'm sure it's a mess, but it's fine. This comic's a mess.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess.
That's okay. I had fun.
I tried my best to remember.
Yeah, that's the problem with this because like the Sonic comic one we did. I feel like we did a pretty good job like keeping it straight because as stupid as it was, it's still for the most part pretty easy to like remember because it's pretty straightforward.
There isn't as much like flashbacks and like
yeah.
side things going on in Sonic comics. It's like one thing happens at a time usually.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But then you get over to this where I'm just like, oh my god, how many fucking things are happening? It's like they're constantly it just doesn't know how to tell a story.
But it takes years to get back to a plot line.
Yeah, they'll set something up in like 2005, and then like 2017 we'll finally see what the payoff was. And then, or like fucking there's moments where like they'll have like I said before, they have like a gag character, they have like a gag page which completely interrupts like whatever they're doing,
and you'll think it's serious, because there's no way to tell if it's not serious because bullshit things like that will happen anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
And it won't be a joke.
And it won't be a joke. And it's just like what? So yeah, that is the Grim Tales of Billy and Mandy and PPGD.
And some Invader Zim.
And some Invader Zim. I think that Vader Zim comic is really, it's called like Manifest Destiny, which I'm like, no.
Don't really makes me think of the American 1800s.
Yeah, expansion, which is really weird. I was like, don't do that.
Really makes me think about building a railroad.
I remember Zim kill all those Indians. Classic scene in Vader Zim.
Classic when Abraham Lincoln crossovered with Invader Zim, and he hired Invader Zim to free the slaves.
Yeah. Alright, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks, Blake.
Okay, no problem. Thanks. We had a pretty good turnout. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I'm listening to this trek.
I hope you have a new appreciation for Bleedman, everybody.
Has someone ever done one last thing? Has someone ever done like a summary, like a you think I have like an audiobook version of? I have. It's got some. Like people do like comic book dubs sometimes.
I mean, they might have like started that, but it might be too long because like people never usually like stick to huge projects like that.
That's true. Plus, especially if you want to do like Grim Tales, there's so much damn text.
And it's probably like kids that do shitty voice acting with like crappy mics.
Yeah, for sure. Hey. Well, see you later, Blake.
Okay, dead to rights.
Dead to rights. Take it easy. Alright, thanks for... Yeah, I tried. We tried. We did our best. Blake's is a genius. And, he was really helpful. Alright. See you guys later. Thanks for coming to whatever the fuck this was.